Once you've painted your leather panel and it's nice and dry, we are now ready to sew the purse up. So first of all, you need to locate the pre-punched hole and get your Sam Brown stud that's also included in your kits, which looks like this. You take the screw end, and on the inside of the purse, the rough side, suede side, you just pop your screw into the pre-punched hole. You take the button end, the sort of knobbly bit, and then you screw it on. Oops, they are fiddly. So you can tighten it with your hand, but you need to secure it a bit more than that. So you can either use a ruler or a butter knife, preferably a screwdriver, to tighten up that stud, stop it from coming loose. So once that's tight, you are now ready to start sewing. I've already stitched one side just for speed, but your panel will come flat and you'll need to fold it up and then marry the holes. So this end hole here to this end hole here, marry those up so they're just like this. So all of those holes are married up with each other. You can use a bulldog clip, or you don't have to use a bulldog clip, but that's might find it easier to have one just to keep it in place. Use the palm of your hand to make that fold and crease a little bit more even. Stop it from unfolding. That helps to keep those holes in place. Right, so we're ready to sew a running stitch. So you take the wax thread that has been provided in the kit and the needle. It's quite sticky and tacky, so make sure that end is nice and flat, and you thread the needle like so and leave about 10-12 centimeters or so of thread like this to stop it from coming undone. You need this because we're going to tie a knot at the end of it. So what we do is, I usually like to start somewhere in the middle so that the ends have a more secure finish to them, because this end and this end is where they get the most wear, where it's being opened and pulled. So we want the stitching to start somewhere in the middle so that these ends remain strong. And I'll start by sewing through here, so maybe the third or fourth hole up, and then we slip it in here, slip the needle in and poke it through like that. Just like that, and we leave a little bit of this thread hanging out just like so, enough for tying a knot when at a later stage. And then we start our running stitch and we go all the way up to the top. A running stitch is just a simple stitch that goes in like this, a bit like a serpentine that kind of goes like that, but up and down through the holes. So we put a stitch through and then under and over. You go all the way up to the top. Make sure it's nice and tight, your stitching. Make sure the tension's all good because you don't want it to become loose. You go all the way up to the top. It's really, really simple. And once you've got to the top, so as you can see, the running stitch is just in, under and over. Once you get to the top, you go back down again. So I can take this off now and you can see filling in those gaps. So to the top and then back down, filling in those gaps here. So we go back, down, and then there's a gap just here. And then there'll be a gap here. We just stick our needle in and through like this. So what was a running stitch is now becoming a saddle stitch, which is one of the strongest stitches on the planet. It's stronger than a sewing machine. And very hard to come undone. Even if you break a stitch, you've still got the running stitch holding the purse together. And we go all the way down to the bottom of the purse. And obviously we haven't stitched this end before because we started somewhere in the middle, and we come back up again until we get to that third hole. And when we get to the third hole, what we want to do is put the needle through the middle of the seam like that and pull it out so it meets the other end. You want to chop that off, and now we make a double knot. Just like that, nice and tight. Double knot it. Now this string is the thread is very sticky because it's waxed, so that keeps the knot in place. After you've double knotted it, those two ends you can just tuck into the seam so you don't see them. You can even put a little bit of glue if they seem to pop out, but that should do the trick. And there you have your saddle stitch. Really strong, nice and tight. Voila. Enjoy.